This update is sponsored by Movement Watches. Want to look stylish without breaking the bank? Up your watch game. Get 15% off today with free shipping, free returns by going to mvmt.com/theknow. Welcome to The Know. I'm Brian. Hope you had a great weekend. I played a lot of Spider-Man, a lot of Dragon Quest, but we've got more stuff coming up, a ton of news to get to. Let's do it. Speaking of Spider-Man, it is off to a really fast start in the UK, possibly elsewhere too. It's a really good sign for how it's doing in the whole world. GamesIndustry.biz reports that the PlayStation 4 exclusive is the fastest selling game of the year in the UK. It beat out Far Cry 5, which of course was a multi-plat, and it sold nearly twice that of God of War. Very impressive, but the game set even more records. It's now the fastest selling Marvel game ever. Needless to say, Spider-Man debuted at number 1 on the UK charts, followed by Dragon Quest XI, yes, also a PlayStation exclusive. So it is a very good start for Spider-Man on the PlayStation 4. And shout out to Insomniac Games, they did a great job on it. Speaking of exclusives, you probably know that Crackdown 3, that's a high-profile exclusive for the Xbox One, but it has had some developmental issues. It's been delayed until next year, but Microsoft says that's okay, apparently. They didn't need it this year anyway. Y'all didn't? Really? Y'all didn't? Well, in an interview with GamesIndustry.biz, Xbox's Aaron Greenberg said that the rest of this year is already stacked with AAA releases. Black Ops 3, Red Dead Redemption 2, Assassin's Creed Odyssey, Battlefield 5, Fallout 76, and Just Cause 4. Yeah, the only problem is you can play those on other consoles. Xbox is only releasing one exclusive in the fourth quarter, Forza Horizon 4. Greenberg said, we're going to get it out early, October 2nd, and before the blast radius. Then we didn't need Crackdown or any of our titles in this holiday window. We're planning to launch that in February, and then after that we will launch Ori and Will of the Wisps. Interesting strategy. Interesting strategy, guys. He went on to say there's more than enough content this holiday. That's why we're working with so many third-party partners to showcase their games and help drive our platform during that window. I can't think of a holiday that had more AAA games in such a tight time period. And you know what? He's not wrong. There is a lot of content out there. It's just kind of weird to say, like, we don't need to do work. Everybody else in the group already did their work for school. Do you ever have partners like that in school for your group projects? Fuck those people. A new MMO based on Lord of the Rings has been announced. In a press release, the newly created publisher Athlon Games said it signed a licensing agreement with Middle-earth Enterprises to develop and publish a game based on the legendary fantasy series. They've added that they're working with a partner developer to create an online game set in the world of Middle-earth at a time long before the events of Lord of the Rings, exploring lands, people, and creatures never seen before by fans of the Tolkien universe. Athlon, now that's a new publisher. It's led by Dave Miller. He formerly worked at Warner Brothers Interactive, Codemasters, and NBC Universal, so he has a background in the business. Miller called it a singular opportunity to work closely with Middle-earth Enterprises to create a completely new experience for fans of the landmark fantasy work of J.R.R. Tolkien. Blizzard, they are doing a really cool thing to honor Totalbiscuit and raise some money for his family. This is a great story. They've created a collection of cosmetics for Starcraft II, honoring the game commentator and announcer, and all of the funds will go to his wife, Jenna, and their son, Orion. Blizzard wrote, as many of you know, John Totalbiscuit Bain was one of Starcraft II's strongest supporters. He and his wife, Jenna, were early advocates for the game. They created and managed the Starcraft II professional team Axiom. In the wake of a tragic loss, it is our way of saying thank you to the Bain family for all they've done for Starcraft II. He sadly died from cancer earlier this year. Blizzard said the bundle will be available starting this week. So really cool move. So it doesn't look like Fortnite needed Google Play at all to be a hit on Android. Just 21 days after the mobile game released on beta, it's already been downloaded 15 million times on Android and has a total of 23 million players. That's compared to just 11 million installs on iOS during that game's first month on the platform. You might remember Epic Games decided to bypass the Google Play Store to release the Android version of Fortnite. They did it on their own site instead in order to avoid the fees that Google charges for being on Google Play. In a blog post, Epic wrote, "Fortnite for Android represents many industry firsts, the first console and PC game to ship on Android with full crossplay and compatibility, and the first blockbuster game to ship outside of the Google Play Store. It was an immense undertaking and learning process, but the rapid adoption by over 15 million Android users shows that this approach is sound and can be very successful." So that is definitely a thing they're trying out, and it was successful, obviously, so who knows? That might lead some other developers going off Google Play. We'll have to wait and see. Or Google might just lower their percentage that they take. Some new box art could suggest that Halo 5 might be coming to the PC, which would be cool. Ars Technica reports that a recent update to Amazon's listing for Halo 5 Guardians included slightly different box art. It's got a new Xbox One console exclusive label on it, but that replaced the original that said only on Xbox One. So that could be a sly indication that the game is coming to PC. It would be the first time in 11 years since Halo 2 was ported to Windows Vista. Microsoft isn't saying for sure, though. They didn't respond to requests for comment. Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee will release in a little more than 2 months, and Nintendo just rolled out a special hardware bundle that includes the games plus a limited edition Switch. And if you're a Pokemon fan, it might be hard to resist. They got brown and yellow Joy-Cons in honor of the two characters. The back is covered in Pikachu and Eevee silhouettes. There's also a special dock with images of Pikachu and Eevee on it. It looks fuck, am I gonna have to buy another Switch? Damn it, I will, don't test me. The bundle will retail for $400. It will release along with the games November 16th. A new Kingdom Hearts 3 trailer shows off some characters from the movie Big Hero 6. Specifically, we got to see Baymax and his little buddy Hero in a trailer that Square Enix released in advance of the Tokyo Game Show. Now, we have known for a while that Baymax would be in the game, but it's the first time we got to see footage of the two meeting Sora, Donald, and Goofy for the first time. It would be pretty cool if they were like, "Hey, can somebody please explain this game real quick to us? We're lost. We tried to read up on the plot. We don't know what the fuck is going on." They're joining a bunch of new additions to the Kingdom Hearts roster, including characters from Toy Story, Frozen, and Tangled, just to name a few. I can't wait. I love Kingdom Hearts. I'm stoked. It'll come out for the PlayStation 4 January 29th. Speaking of awesome games coming out, a remastered version of Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles is coming to the Switch and PlayStation 4 next year. The action RPG, you might remember, it came out on the GameCube back in 2003. You and your friends played as a group who traveled together, gathering fuel for special crystals which protect the world. Because it's Final Fantasy, there are always crystals involved. Man, do I have to hook up a bunch of Game Boy Advances to play this time too? That would be pretty sweet. Also, I'd need to find my Game Boy Advance. It'll be released next year in Japan. No word on an international release, but we noticed that the trailer says the final game will have English audio as well as text in English, German, French, Italian, and Spanish. So that's a good sign that they're looking at a possible wider release. Horror fans are getting ready for Halloween early. It looks like the latest film in the Conjuring Universe series, The Nun, opened to huge numbers. It pulled in almost $54 million. That blows away the previous opening weekend champion in the shared universe, 2016's The Conjuring 2, which opened at a little over $41.8 million. And that's just domestically. The Nun killed overseas as well. It made another $77.5 million for a total in around $131 million. Pretty good considering the movie cost $22 million to produce. Warner Brothers figured out that people like to watch scary movies in September. This is the same time frame that they released It in last year, and that made even more money than The Nun did. It was a blockbuster. Now, The Nun is a prequel that explains the origin of the super evil, creepy demon nun from The Conjuring 2. The Nun might have drawn audiences, but critics didn't really like it. It only pulled in a 28% Rotten Tomato score, but you know what? Fuck critics. Like what you want to like. That's just slightly above Happy Time Murderers and significantly below The Meg's 46% rating. Still, considering how much money The Nun made, Warner Brothers definitely won't be breaking their September horror habit. It Chapter 2 is already on the books for September of next year. All right, little Avengers news to finish out on. We're only 7 months from the release of the as yet untitled Avengers 4. Most of it was shot at the same time as Infinity War, but the Russo brothers, they're going back for a big round of reshoots right now, and we know that at least one unseen character is coming back in a big way, and it's Hawkeye. Yes, he apparently survived the big snap, and he will have some role to play in the next Avengers. Jeremy Renner confirmed this on his Instagram account, snapping a photo of his new hipsterish pompadour haircut with the words "good to be back" imposed over it. He added, "good to be circling the wagons with my good friends Marvel and Avengers." He then posted a follow-up photo that showed a little bit of his suit, also added the hashtag purple bad guy, followed by the middle finger emoji. So don't worry everybody, Hawkeye's here, he will fix everything. Maybe he'll just fucking shoot Thanos in the eye with an arrow and then it's over with. That would be kind of anticlimactic, to be honest. All right, that's all the news we got for today. Let us know what you think about these stories down in the comments below. And for all your news from every corner of the internet, like this video. If you're new around here, subscribe to the know. Shout out to Movement Watches for sponsoring this update. These watches, they won't shout at you for not standing up enough or taking enough steps, and you don't have to charge them every day just for them to tell you the damn time. Plus, even the best part, they're not going to break the bank. Movement is a business developed by a couple of broke college kids who figured out they could go online, cut out the retail middleman to offer the best possible prices. So Movement watches start at just $95, where you'd be paying a few hundred for them at the store. Plus, you can get additional bands to change out to keep the look of the watch fresh and coordinated with your style. Like this one. All black watch, got a super comfortable black leather wristband, got some red trim. It is tight. I love it. To get 15% off with free shipping and free returns, just go to mvmt.com/theknow.